Hello, I'm Muiz Opeyemi. Welcome to another edition of the Poems I Love. So I'll be reading four poems, starting with Inua Ellams, a poem from Inua Ellams, the actual. So it is titled Shakespeare. Shakespeare. And another thing, the grace you brought Othello, how you forged that more, got him talking down his eloquence, as if his tongue wasn't part swan feather, part molasses, how you wrote a church of darkness, steepled by Iago, and all Othello, its soul, beacon of honor and light. Bro, that shit literary fire, raised theory brimstone, middle passage gold. But how you played Caliban, his tongue as Othello's, and just as wronged, how you imbibed him with, emblemed him of colonized peoples, got me all riled up, imagining my ancestors' vengeance, a rough blade thrust through Prospero's proud heart. But you didn't. Play hands, Kali still enslaved. Bro, that. So, this poem by Ellams is one of my favorite contemporary poems, and I love this poem for a lot of reasons. One is, I mean, beneath its simplicity, there is a lot of depth. Like there's a lot of depth. It interplays racial lines, sort of. So there is it's grounded in an allusion or allusions to Shakespeare, as it's implied. Fuck Shakespeare, and it kind of does this thing about this thing story writers do, or even they do in movie about a character not being great. So it does this now with Shakespeare as an author. So in Shakespeare's drama, the first part of the poem being Othello, it is modeled after Othello. Then the second part modeled after another Shakespeare's play, The Tempest. So in the first part, it's I like the way it began by kind of eulogizing Shakespeare in a sort of way. I mean, praising Shakespeare for the way he painted the character of Othello, a black man, raised him through the ranks, made him a good person. I mean, even though Othello fell in the end, but he made the character of Othello like lovable, like understandable. Like he made him a, I mean, not just a good character, like in the strict sense. I mean, Othello might have done things that were, well, not this thing, but he he um he made him human. Then in the second part, I mean, so he ended up by saying, "Oh," by showing his appreciation, like, "Bro, that shit literary fire, race theory brimstone, middle passage gold." Like that language just shows how beautiful he found it. Then in the second part, he talked about Caliban, a character in The Tempest, who was like the son of a witch hag, and this character Caliban was kind of enslaved. He owned an island which a particular king who was overthrown came to, and the king sort of took over the island. To put it in proper context, like colonized the island. Typically, of course, he didn't like say that directly in the book, but it was just like sort of implied. And while reading the book, I mean, now in the POV of Ellams, I mean, probably haven't read Tempest. Oh well, Shakespeare, my guy, he probably would. I mean, something is going to happen. I mean, Caliban, who is just like my ancestors who were colonized, would not just, I mean, it wouldn't just like end up like that. There would be vengeance. I mean, it would get his turn back or something. But then play hands, Kali still enslaved. Like this got me all riled up. Play ends, Kali still enslaved, bro. Like that shit fucked. So that was that's on the poem. So I love that poem. So the next poem is was written after this poem, after Inua Ellams. So this is titled Conrad by Mayowa Oyewale. 4 of heads hanging on stakes under courts windows. I did not at first give a until they became black and, like me, assumed dark, dilated nostrils. 3. Oh, and how you denied the dusty and the whipped and all those quarrelsome band of footsore sulking as a name, but instead made them run off on all fours towards some river to drink. Got me insane. 2. Canonical con, colonizer con. Damn it if your God didn't model a mistake by shipping lights into calm darkness in the very beginning. So this one sort of follows the trajectory of the previous one, which it was written after. Now, a particular reason why I love this one is that it's titled Conrad. I have never read any work of Conrad. I mean, maybe not something to be so proud of, but I've never read any Conrad. But then reading this poem, I understood it like straight on, even if I couldn't exactly pinpoint the allusions I was making, but it just made it so understandable, so let me say followable from beginning to the end. You could just tell, okay, yeah, the way Conrad portrayed the black characters in the in those novels were not exactly the way, I mean, Mayowa would have loved. Of course, the author has his creative license, and well, the poet also has his. So that's basically it. Then, particularly, what stands out or what stood out for me was the concluding line, like the final line: "Canonical con, colonizer con. Damn it if your God didn't model a mistake by shipping light into calm darkness in the very beginning." Like that was just, permit me to use the word, sick, because the allusion to in the very beginning to the genesis to creation, like literally saying, oh, I mean, even Conrad, I am not even blaming you. I mean, after all, your God himself was racist. I mean, because in the beginning God said, let there be light. So God, damn it if your God didn't model a mistake by shifting light into calm darkness. He made, like, I mean, he used the word calm darkness. The adjective he used to describe darkness, I mean, calm darkness, made darkness like peaceful. I mean, why should there be light when there was already calm darkness in the very beginning? That was just so beautiful. And yeah, so that's why I love this poem. So to go to the next one, the third poem. This is a bit long, so but yeah, bear with me. So this is from Vuong's Time is a Mother. It's titled Not Even, or Not Even This. Hey, I used to be a now I'm a checkbox. The pen tip jabbed in my back. I feel the mark of progress. I will not dance alone in the municipal graveyard at midnight, blasting sad songs on my phone for nothing. I promise you, I was here. I felt things that made death so large it was indistinguishable from her. And I went on, destroying inside it like wind in a storm. The way Lil Peep says, I'll be back in the morning, when you know how it ends. The way I kept dancing when the song was over, because it freed me. The way the streetlight blinks twice before waking up for its night shift, like we do. The way we look up and whisper sorry to each other, the boy and I, when there is teeth on purpose. When I threw myself into gravity and made it work. Ha! I made it out by the skin of my graves. I used to be a fag, now I'm late. Ha! Once, at a party set on a rooftop in Brooklyn for an artsy vibe, a young woman said, sipping a drink, "You're so lucky. You're gay, plus you get to write about stuff, war and stuff. I'm just white." Plus, I got nothing. Laughter, glasses clinking. Because everyone knows yellow paint pressed into American letters turned to gold. Our sorrow made us touched, napalm with a rainbow afterglow. Unlike feelings, blood gets realer when you feel it. I'm trying to be real, but it costs too much. They say the earth spins and that's why we fall, but everyone knows it's the music. It's been proving difficult to dance to machine gun fire. Still, my people made a rhythm this way, away. My people, so still on the photographs, as corpses. My failure was that I got used to it. I looked at us, mangled under the time photographer's shadow, and stopped thinking, get up, get up. I saw the graveyard stain and the pinkish dawn, and knew the dead were still breathing. Ha! If they come for me, take me out. What if it wasn't the crash that made us, but the debris? What if it was meant this way? The murder, the lexicon, the line of cocaine on the morgued boy's collarbone in an East Village sublet in 2007. What's wrong with me, doc? There must be a pill for this. Because the fairy tales were right, you'll need sorcery to make it out of here. Long ago, in another life, on an Amtrak through Iowa, I saw, for a few blurred seconds, a man standing in the middle of a field of winter grass, and at its sides, back to me, all of him stopped there save for his hair, scraped by low wind. When the countryside resumed its wash of grey wheat, tractors, gutted bands, black sycamores in headless pastures, I started to cry. I put my copy of Didion's The White Album down and folded a new dark around my head. The woman beside me stroked my back, saying, in a Midwestern accent that warbled with tenderness, "Go on, son. You get her out now. No shame in breaking open. You get her out now, and I'll fetch us some tea," which made me lose it even more. She came back with Lipton in paper cups, her eyes nowhere, blue and there. She was silent all the way to Missoula, where she got off and said, patting my knee, "God is good, God is good." I can say it was gorgeous now, my harm, because it belonged to no one else. To be a dam for damage, my shittiness will not enter the world, I thought, and quickly became my own hero. Do you know how many hours I've wasted watching straight boys play video games? Enough. Time is a mother. Lest we forget, a morgue is also a community center. In my language, the one I recall now, only by closing my eyes, the word for love is you, and the word for weakness is you. How you say what you mean changes what you say. Some call this prayer, I call it watch your mouth. Rose, I whispered, as they zipped my mother in a body bag. Get out of here. Your plants are dying. Enough is enough. Time is a mother, I said to the gravestones. Alive. Absurd. Body, doorway that you are, be more than what I'll pass through. Stillness, that's what it was. The man in the field in the red sweater, it was so still it became somehow more true, like a knife wound in a landscape painting. Like him, I caved. I caved and decided it would be joy from now on. Then everything opened. The light blazed around me into a white weather, and I was lifted, wet and bloody, out of my mother into the world, screaming, and enough. Yeah, well, that was about enough. So, um, this poem, I don't know if I could. I mean, of course, I don't have all day to say how much I love it, but of course, the major thing that stood out like for me in the poem, or like that drew me into it, was, I mean, the way it began. Even it began like an invitation, like it was calling out to me, "Hey." So like the way it began, and all through the poem, it feels like a conversation, like it was like the poet was talking to the reader. Like there's a part where it even says, "Oh, dear reader," like it just felt like all conversation. And this person might not be me, but well, I'm really interested in this person. What this person is saying, it's like a journey into the poet's self, and you like through this whole journey, you just like discover like different things. One of which is, I mean, probably even the point of the poem, the tokenization of the poet's identity, is queerness, is um race. Talked a lot about how he's Vietnamese American, and the conversation with the white woman who was like, the conversation with the white woman who was like, I mean, you Vietnamese, I'm queer, like I'm just white. The whole tokenization, it's just, I just like saw it. I could mirror that in our own society, to the African landscape, the Nigerian landscape, and there's a whole discourse about that. But very beautiful poem. So for my final poem, yeah. So um, this is Safia Elhillo's January vocabulary from Silaman winning book, January Children. So, vocabulary. Fact. The Arabic word hawa means wind. The Arabic word hawa means love. Test. Multiple choice. Abdelalim said, "You left me holding wind in my hands." Or Abdelalim said, "You left me holding love in my hands." Abdelalim was left empty, or Abdelalim was left full. Feiru said, "O wind, take me to my country." Or Feiru said, "O love, take me to my country." Feiruz is looking for vehicle, or Feiruz is looking for fuel. Kulthum said, "Where the wind stops our ships, we stop ours." Or Kulthum said, "Where love stops our ships, we stop ours." Kulthum is stuck, or Kulthum is home. So yeah, so Safia Elhillo is, I mean, easily one of my favorite poets, and one of the first poets I came to love in this generation of contemporary poets, or black poets, African or African American poet. So the poem, like vocabulary, just like many of the poems on in the book January Children, talks about identity, immigration, the struggles of being one, maybe a black Muslim child in, or girl in, the Western world, and also like traces Sudanese history somehow. The poem in particular, like sort of do this thing on diacritics, like a play on diacritics, which is the word how one word like could be an homonym, could have different meanings, and It's something I'm also familiar with as a Yoruba boy, how one word could have like multiple meanings. Ogun could mean like 5 or 6 different things, and like that. Like it was just interesting, the like dynamics, how one change of diacritics could shift meaning entirely from one thing like to the other. So yeah, those are my 4 poems I love. So yeah, Muiz Opeyemi, and these are the poems I love.